Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Visconti Last Templar, and this is the Jacques de Molay. We have a Visconti Brunelleschi. We have a Visconti Divina Desert Spring. We have a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest. We have an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra, and this is in the Wild West. We have a Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina Shiny Circles. We have a Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Jade. We have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. We have a London Pen Company, and this is the Christopher in Caramel Erinoid. And then we have the Sailor King of Pen Sakura Nagare. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is the Last Templar edition. This is, as you can see here, Jacques de Molay, and he was the Last Templar, or officially the Last Templar, although there is some controversy centered around that. But this is to commemorate Jacques de Molay as the Last Templar. This is a really beautiful work of art. I love the sort of chainmail going on here. I love the shield and everything. This looks to be a lot more heavier than it actually is. This is an overlay over resin, so if I unscrew this, you'll see that it is a white resin here. This comes with a 23 cat palladium medium nib, but I love how this pen writes. It's really good. It's a long pen. It's a little bit more back weighted here because of this silver work, but I find if I write like this, it's actually quite comfortable. It's a power vac filling pen, and if I unscrew this, you'll find a chalice here, which is the power vac knob, and this will hold around about 2 to 2.5 milliliters of ink, so it does hold a lot of ink. The cap obviously will not post. It's not designed to post, but that in itself is actually quite good. So I do like this pen a lot, and I have that one inked up this week with me. And a pen I haven't had it inked up for a little while now is the Visconti Brunelleschi, and this is a pen that is made of terracotta tile, and the terracotta tiles are ground down and mixed with resin, and it creates this sort of almost like a terracotta resin mix. It's got a little bit of a rubbery sort of texture to it, but this is a really, really lovely pen, and I do like this a lot. You'll see here it has a 23 cat palladium medium nib. Now you do get sometimes a little bit of staining around the edge of some of these materials when you have it in ink. Now I have had this with a darker ink, so you will see a little bit there, but I like this pen. I do like it a lot. Maybe I should have inked this up with more of a red ink in the past perhaps, but I find this is really good. It's a power vac. You can post the cap if you want to. I personally wouldn't. It's just my preference, but I do find that this is a really nice writing pen. So I have that one inked up this week as well. I also have a Visconti Divina, and this is the Desert Spring, and it's a beautiful celluloid, and you don't see these celluloids much nowadays. This was a limited edition celluloid in terms of there weren't that many available. This one was not a limited edition pen, but the celluloid, really, there wasn't a lot of celluloid with Visconti when they made this pen. They made a few other pens in very, very limited edition runs, and you'll see here that this has a 23 cat palladium nib. It's a medium nib, but this is really good. It's a capture converter, so you pull out this here and then you twist it, and so you have a converter, captured converter inside that you cannot remove. but it holds around 0.7 milliliters of ink about. I do find though, because Viscontis typically are wet writers, that I do go through this quite quickly. But I have that one inked up as well. The next pen I have is the Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra, and this is the Wild West. And if I zoom in here, you will see it says Wild West, and then you have some mountains there. And this, for me, is a really lovely material. It's not a celluloid, it's a resin, but the way it's been sliced and cut, it gives quite a lot of variations of color here. So you've got the blue, you've got the red, and then the blue again. It really is a nice pen. So this comes with an 18 karat gold Armando Simone Club, and this is a Magic Flex nib. It's a medium nib. These are typically longer pens, so you will see that there. Now, these typically won't post deeply. I wouldn't suggest trying to post these because they are a little bit loose. They're not really designed to post, and you probably would crack the resin or crack the celluloid on the cap. But these are really long pens anyway. I don't see why you would want to try and post one of these caps. It does have a pneumatic sack inside, so if I unscrew this, and I've got to be careful, I can pull this back hopefully, and there you see. So you have this pneumatic, you have a hole there, you push it down with your finger over the hole, it creates a suction, and then ink will rush in. So I'm not going to put my finger over that hole because I don't want to eject a load of ink. But you'll see there's a lot of threads on that filling knob. But this is a really comfortable pen. It's got an ebonite feed on there as well. And I have that one inked up with me this week as well. As you can see, it's another long pen like the Jacques de Molay. The next pen here is the Montegrappa, and this is the Bartolomeo Ferracina, and this is in the shiny circles. This is, again, a beautiful celluloid from Montegrappa. I love that stacked celluloid. It's a beautiful, beautiful celluloid. And then you have the clock there as well, and this is a functional clock, and that is the correct time as well. It's a solar recharging clock there. It's got a battery in it, or a diode. This is a beautiful pen. It comes with a number 8 size nib, and that's a Montegrappa nib there, a medium nib, 18 karat gold. You'll notice that the body is a little bit more bulbous here, and I always thought that that was going to be a problem to write with, but this is very, very comfortable because you're not really touching this at all. But if you wanted a much thicker area and you wanted to hold it up there and you wanted to post the cap, then you probably could if you hold your pens up a lot higher. I don't. I tend to hold them lower, and so I don't need to do that. But this is beautiful work of art from Montegrappa, and I have to take my hats off to them. That's beautiful celluloid as well. The next pen is a Wahl Eversharp, and this is a Decoband. It's an Oversize, and it's in the Jade resin, and you can see that lovely Jade resin there. A beautiful Jade colour. This is, again, another oversized pen. It's another one of these pneumatic fillers like the ASC Bologna here. And if I unscrew the cap, you'll notice there, this is inked up. So this is a medium 18 karat gold nib there. Got a little bit of a nib creep or ink on the nib, but you can see that obviously I've been writing with that a lot. So this is a lovely pen, and I do find that this really feels quite substantial in the sort of really the crook of my hand there, so when I'm writing with it. So I have that pen inked up this week as well. And then I have what was my birthday pen for this year, and this is the Taccia Miyabi, and it's the Winter's Breath. And this is an absolute stunning work of art. It has crushed quail's eggs that are crushed and then reassembled to actually pretty much be one again. It's an amazing feat. It really is. And you then have these Raden strips here. So if I show you this here, that is absolutely amazing. And I bought this for my birthday present, and I really do like this a lot. And you can see there you've got the artist signature on the section, and then you've got a Taccia. It's a number 6 size nib. It's an 18 karat gold. This is a broad nib, not a medium nib, because it's an Asian nib. I typically went for a nib that was a broad nib, so it's more of a Western medium, and you can't get it on anything greater than a broad nib. So for me, I like this pen a lot, and I can show you again in the size of my hand. This is actually quite nice. You could post the cap, but I don't do it. In theory, all of this, I can't really feel it. So there is a lacquer over it, but I can feel quite, maybe a slight texture to it. So I don't want to scratch up any of that sort of quail's eggs there. But this is a beautiful pen, and I'm just in awe of this pen. It's an amazing pen, and that pattern always lines up. It never misaligns. So this is a beautiful Raden pen. And I do like abalone shell, the Raden there as well. The next pen is a London pen company, and this is from Sean at London Pen Company in London, Ontario. And this is in Canada, and this is a great pen. He sent this to me for review, and I've been having it inked up for a while now. This is a really beautiful pen. It's an aeronoid material. It's a caramel color. It's got some lovely swirls and some really good chatoyance going on there in the cap and in the body. Sean makes this with a ebonite section here. It's a cartridge converter, and it's a number 6 size Joro steel nib, and it's a broad nib. It's gold plated, and I think that matches with the pen quite nicely. So I have that one inked up as well this week. And then the final pen is the Sailor King of Pen Sakura Nagare, which is another beautiful pen. And this is a pen that I like a lot. You've got the Sakura petals here that are basically flowing down a river, and it's a Raden pen, Maquis. It's a beautiful work of art, and I'm so glad that I did pick this up when I did. And that's got a broad nib on there, and because it's an Asian nib, it's going to be like a Western medium. But again, I love this. It's a cartridge converter again. It's a number 8 size Sailor King of Pen nib on there, because it is a Sailor King of Pen. But this is just an absolute stunning, stunning material. So I have that one inked up as well this week. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen is a Visconti Last Templar Jacques de Molay. So we'll do a ink swatch. And this is one of my more favourite grey inks. Actually, I say more favourite, this is the favourite. So this is the Visconti, and it's the Jacques de Molay, and it is a medium, and it's a 23 karat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is diamine, and it's Earl Grey, which is a beautiful grey ink. I think it matches really, I guess, the more colour of this pen. The next pen is the Visconti Brunelleschi. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now, this is a medium nib, and I find that this is a dry ink, but it's an ink that I do like writing with in this pen. So this is the Visconti, and it's the Brunelleschi, and it is a medium, and it's again a 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Aurora and Klinger, and it's Alt Bordeaux. The next pen is the Visconti Divina Desert Spring. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see that this is quite a bright hot pink colour. And although this isn't the colour of the pen, this is an ink that I inked up from the start with this pen, and I just absolutely love it. So this is the Visconti Divina, and it's the Desert Spring. And it is a medium, again another 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku, and it's Sutsuji. But that is a beautiful pink ink. The next pen is the Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I would say that this medium is definitely wider than the previous, at least one medium, if not all of the mediums. This is a Visconti, and it's the Chatterley Luxuries, and it is the Southwest. And it is a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold new nib. And then the ink in here is Mont Blanc, Corn, Poppy, Red. The next pen is the Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra, and this is the Wild West. So we'll do an ink swatch. So this is the, we'll do an ASC, we'll abbreviate it, Bologna Extra, and it is the Wild West. And it's a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine, and it's China Blue. And the next pen is the Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see this is a beautiful wet nib. So this is the Montegrappa, and it's the Bartolomeo Ferracina, and I think it's like that, and it's the shiny circles, and it's, I'm going to run out of space, it's a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. The next pen is a Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Jade. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this again is a very wet nib. So this is a Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Jade with a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine, and it's Aqua Lagoon. The next pen is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this does typically tend to be a more dry nib. And the ink is more dry as well. So this is a Taccia Miyabi. And this is the Winter's Breath. And it's a broad and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, and it's Topaz. The next pen is the London Pen Company Christopher in Caramel Erinoid. We'll do an ink swatch. Now this is a beautiful broad nib. I love this a lot. So this is the London Pen Company, and this is the Christopher, and it's in Caramel Erinoid, and it's a broad and it's a still nib. And then the ink in here is Waterman, and it's absolute brown. And then the last pen inked up is the Sailor King of Pen Sakura Nagare. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this I find is a lovely punchy really sort of reddish orange. So this is a Sailor King of Pen Sakura Nagare, and it's a broad and it's a 21 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is KWZ Grapefruit. So let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Visconti Jacques de Molay in a medium 23 cat palladium nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Visconti Brunelleschi, and this in a medium 23 cat palladium nib inked up with Raw and Klinger Alt Bordeaux. We have a Visconti Divina Desert Spring in a medium 23 cat palladium nib inked up with Pilot Roshizuku Sutsuji. We have a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red. We have an ASC Bologna Extra Wild West in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Diamine China Blue. We have a Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina in shiny circles in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in a Jade in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Diamine Aqua Lagoon. We have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath, and this is in a broad 18 cat gold nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Topaz. We have a London Pen Company Christopher in a Caramel Erinoid, and that's in a broad still nib inked up with Waterman Absolute Brown. And then finally we have a Sailor King of Pen Sakura Nagare in a broad 21 cat gold nib inked up with KWZ Grapefruit. There you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.